Supergirl, also known as Kara Zor-El, is often misunderstood as simply a female version of Superman. In reality, her narrative foundation is fundamentally different and potentially more complex. Unlike Superman, who arrived on Earth as an infant with no memory of Krypton, Supergirl lived on her home planet and witnessed its destruction. She is not a second-generation immigrant but a direct survivor of a lost civilization. This gives her character a deeper connection to trauma, grief, and cultural dislocation. In theory, Supergirl should be one of DC's most emotionally rich characters. Her morality is not abstract or idealized but shaped by lived loss, making her more impulsive, emotionally volatile, and human. However, DC has historically struggled to use her effectively. Writers often appear unsure how to position her without threatening Superman's symbolic centrality. If she is written as too powerful or too independent, she risks overshadowing him. If she is too naive or dependent, she becomes a diminished, secondary figure. As a result, she is frequently portrayed as still learning rather than as a fully formed moral agent with her own worldview. This problem became particularly visible in modern adaptations. The CW television series emphasized Supergirl as a moral role model, kind, optimistic, and emotionally healthy. While well-intentioned, this approach stripped away much of her dramatic tension. Her anger, survivor's guilt, and sense of alienation were softened in favor of consistent positivity, reducing her narrative depth. Cultural politics further complicated her portrayal. In recent Hollywood contexts, Supergirl has often been burdened with symbolic expectations, representing female empowerment, immigration narratives, moral correctness, and diversity values. These expectations push the character toward ideological clarity rather than psychological realism. While characters like Batman are allowed to be broken or obsessive, and Superman can question his own relevance, Supergirl is often required to remain emotionally stable and ethically correct. This limits storytelling possibilities and weakens audience engagement. More successful interpretations, such as Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, demonstrate a better direction. These versions remove overt moral messaging and focus on her as a wounded survivor rather than a moral instructor. She is portrayed as tired, observant, and emotionally scarred, someone who continues to act not because she is pure, but because she chooses to despite her pain. In an era of superhero fatigue, this approach gives Supergirl renewed relevance. She is best suited to smaller-scale, morally ambiguous stories centered on emotional survival rather than world-saving spectacle. Ultimately, Supergirl is not a failed character, she is one that has too often been written to be correct instead of genuinely human.